Hello everybody. In this video I'm gonna talk about linear equation in two variables with the format of a slope y-intercept format. Y is equal mx plus b. With this, we call this format a slope y-intercept format. The other format was the ax plus by is equal c, which was, we call it the name is a standard format, and I will explain completely about this format in another video. In today's video I'm gonna explain about this format. We call it a slope y-intercept format. In this format, m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. That's why we call it a slope y-intercept format. Now, y-intercept, I explained already in the Cartesian system, is the point that the line crosses the y-axis. This is the Cartesian system. Any point that the line crosses the y-axis, we call it y-intercept. Any point that crosses the x-axis, we call it x-intercept. In the x-intercept, x has a value and y is 0. In x-intercept, if you look at the coordination of this point, has a value for x, but the y value is 0 because this point is origin is 0. And for the y-intercept, y has a value. This is the value for y, and x is 0. So because you get here this point, there is x is 0. So 0 and y is the y-intercept. X and 0 is x-intercept. So this point is y-intercept. B is the y-intercept. Actually, the value of this point, x is 0 and b. This is the y-intercept for this one. Now, when I'm solving example, you will get it more clear. But I want to explain about the slope first. What is a slope? I'm just erasing this part to have more space, and again I'm gonna come back to it. What is a slope? If we graph a line, any type of line, x and y, okay, just imagine this line. Let me just imagine this line. What is a slope? A slope is change in altitude, change in height. When we are moving, just imagine we are moving on this line. Just imagine a point, that this point is in this line. The height of this point is here. If I graph a horizontal line, this is the height. Okay, and vertical line, this is the x. This is the x-axis, so this is the x, and this is the height of this point. Let's say it's point A. Okay, if I name this one y1 and this one x1, so this point, the coordination is x1 and y1. This is the coordination of this point. When I'm moving from point A to point B, okay, again, can you see while I'm moving from left to right, from a smaller point to bigger point, a smaller point, bigger point, okay? When I'm moving from left to right, just imagine this point, I'm moving from left to right. It means this point, I'm moving on this line, okay? When I'm moving from left to right, as I'm moving forward, my height, my altitude is getting bigger, and my x is again getting bigger number. When I'm moving from point A to point B, what is the x of point B? Is here. I name it x2, and y of point B is here. I name it x2 and y2 for point B. And this is the coordination. Point B, x2 and y2. So I moved from point A with the coordination of x1, y1 to point B with the coordination of x2, y2. what is a slope? A slope, as I told you, is change in height, okay? Or we can name a slope is rise over run. Run means I'm moving on the x-axis. Rise means I'm moving on the y-axis. You just imagine when I'm moving top hill. I'm moving from floor 1, first floor to second floor. So while I'm just moving, going up from the stairs, at the same time I'm moving forward, and the same time I'm going up. So the slope is the ratio of rise over run. But what is rise? Rise is change in height. Okay, and look at this one, from point A to point B. This is the height of point B, which is y2, and this is the height of point 1, which is y1. How much is the change in height? This is the change in height. Okay, I'm just making it darker. This part is change in height. So how much is the rise? Is y2 minus y1. y2 is from here to here. This is the y2, and y1 is from origin to here. This is the y1, and from origin to here is y2. So subtraction of y2 minus y1 is going to be change in height. What about the change in x, which give me the run? This is the final x, and this is the original x. Yeah, I started from here. When I start from point A, my x was here. When I end up to point B, my x is here. The change in x is this value. Oh my, this is the value in change in x. Okay, I'm just making it darker. Okay, if it's visible. Okay, so what is this one? In x2 minus x1. Okay, so this is the meaning of a slope: change in height over change in x, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We call it a slope. Okay, now, and as I told you, this is the y slope intercept for a slope y intercept format, mx plus b. This is the format of the equation, which m is the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, now let's just do some practice for graphing using the slope. There is more things to know: how we can calculate the slope, how we can find the equation of the line using the slope and y-intercept, and so on. I will explain all of them in a different video. But for now, let's say how we can graph a line using the slope y-intercept. Let's say I want to graph this one. Y is equal 3x minus 2. Y is equal 3x minus 2. Okay, what is the slope of this line? A slope of this line is 3. If I compare the bottom equation with the top equation, this is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. Okay, a slope is 3. But remember, a slope is rise over run, is ratio of two quantity. So instead of 3, if I give a 1 denominator, I can write it 3 over 1. What it means? It means for every 1 unit run, remember, is rise over run. For every 1 unit run, we are gonna get 3 unit rise. If I go forward 1 unit on the x-axis, I'm gonna go up 3 unit on the y-axis. And y-intercept is negative 2. Y value is negative 3. How much is x? X is 0. 0 and negative 2. This is our y-intercept. If I graph the coordinating system, x and y, okay, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 2, negative 3. Okay, this is our coordinating system. Now, my first point is y-intercept. Where is the y-intercept? In the y-axis, negative 2. This is the y-intercept. Y negative 2, x 0 is this point. Okay, this is my first point. For the next point, it means for every one run, it means if I start from y-intercept from this point, remember we need to start from a line that we know that the point is on the line, that we are gonna graph it later, and we know that this point is on the line because it's the y-intercept. Starting from this point, 1 unit run, it means from here I run 1 unit up to here. For 1 unit run, I should have 3 unit rise. It means if this point is 3, 3, 4 and 5. So from this point, after 1 unit run, I should go up 3 unit. 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit. This is going to be my next point. Or the other way that we can calculate the next point. This is the change in x, this is change in y. Now, what is the next point? This is the y-intercept, one of the point. The next point, other point. Okay, it's gonna be this x for this point is 0. 0 plus 1. This 0 plus this 1 is gonna be 1. And what is the y? This is the negative 2 of the starting one, negative 2 plus 3. Okay, negative 2 plus 3 is gonna be 1. Sorry, negative 2 plus 3. Negative 2 plus 3 is gonna be 1. Let me see if I'm not making negative 2 and negative 2 plus 3. Oh, y-intercept, I made mistake, sorry, that the y-intercept is, okay, the y-intercept is here, x, y, x0, y negative 2. This is the y-intercept. I started from the wrong point here. This is the y-intercept, okay, x0, y negative 2. So for 1 unit run, which is here, 3 unit rise, 1, 2 and 3. This is the second point. Or if I calculating this way, this is the other method to finding the next point. The x of original, the y-intercept is 0, plus this x is 0 plus 1 is 1, and the other one minus 2 plus 3, which is about the y. This is the y original point and this is the y of the other point, or not y of the other point. 3 unit rise for this one. It means minus 2 plus 3 is gonna be 1. So 1 and 1 is our next point, which is here, x1, y1. Now if we connect this point, connect these 2 points and continue from both sides. Okay, this is our graphing. This is the graph of this line using the slope y-intercept format. As this is when we have the equation in this format, graphing with using a slope and y-intercept is much more faster and easier than if we graph on a standard format using table of value. Let's do one more example and then I will finish this video. Let's do another example. Y is equal 1 over 2x minus 1. Y equal 1 over 2x minus 1. Now, for graphing this one, what is the slope? Compare these two. A slope is 1 over 2, which is 1 is the rise, change in altitude or change in y, 2 is run, change in x. And how much is y-intercept? Y-intercept comparing these two is going to be x is 0 and y is negative 1. So for graphing this line, remember always we should start from the y-intercept, which is 0 and -1, is this point. This point. 0 and -1. What is the next point? I need one more point to graph this one. If we add the 0 of this one and this 2 is the for changing x, 0 plus 2 is gonna be my second point. Second point. This is just naming. Yet don't worry about the naming. You don't need even to name this one. We just need to find one more point. 0 plus 2. This is 0 of the y-intercept and this is the change in x. So 0 plus 2 is going to be 2. And -1 plus 1. This is changing y. Y of the first point and y of the second point. -1 plus 1 is going to be 0. So this is my next point. Okay. Which x is 2. X is 2. And y is 0. That's it. X is 2, y is 0. This is my next point. Connect these 2 points and continue from both sides. This is the graph of line. Can you see how easily we can graph the line? One thing I want to explain about the slope, which is very useful. We can figure out if our graphing is right or not. Every line or any line have 3 types of a slope, or 4 types, right? Okay. We have a slope for the line 4 type. One type is we are going uphill. As an example, look at this one. This is one line, one type of line. Okay, this is one type of line. I just name it line 1. What is in this type of line? We are going uphill. While I'm going forward, my slope is my height is getting higher and higher. It's same as I'm moving from first floor to second floor using the step, or if I'm moving from downhill to uphill. Okay, the slope of this line, while we are going forward, can you see the height is getting bigger? For this line, the slope is positive. The slope is greater than 0. The slope is positive. Same as 2 over 1, 1 over 2. Can you see the sign of this one? 3. Sign of all of this slope is positive. 2, 1 over 2, 3. The slope is positive. The other type of line, it can be this type. Okay, line 2. Can you see while I am in this line and I'm moving forward, at the same time that I'm moving forward, my height is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's same as I'm coming from second floor to the first floor, or I'm coming from top of a hill to bottom of a hill. I'm going downhill. Okay, so in this case, the slope is positive. For this line, a slope is negative, less than 0. For the first line, for the purple one, the slope is positive. For the red type, the slope is negative. The other type is going to be horizontal line. Just imagine this line, line 3, this horizontal line. Of course, this horizontal line can move up or down, but always is horizontal line, and one of this line is x-axis by itself. Okay, in this line, when I'm moving forward, my height is not changing. The height is remain always the same as I'm driving on a flat. Okay, so the slope is 0 in this case. While I'm moving from left to right, my slope is not changing. In this case, the slope is 0. A slope 0, it means when I'm moving on x-axis, my height remain the same. It's same as I'm walking in the second floor. I'm in the second floor. My height is in the second floor. But when I'm walking on the floor, on the hallways and so on, I'm not going up, I'm not going down. My height is always remain the same. Or I'm in the ground level, or I'm in the basement, or whatever. But as long as my the slope is 0 or is horizontal line, it means the slope gonna be 0. The other one is vertical line. Look at this vertical line, line 4. Can you see? In this vertical line, only in this point which is underlined, the slope is very big. Okay, look at this purple line or this red line in this one. I can make it sharper or lower, or for this one, we make it sharper or softer, but always we have some type of a slope. In this point, just before this point, before this line or after this line, there is no any point in the line. Exactly in this one is a vertical line. For this point we call a slope is undefined. A slope is undefined. Okay, these are the different type of a slope. In this video, so I talk about how we can graph the line, what is the different type of a slope, and how we can graph the line using the slope y-intercept format. The only thing that you should remember, you have to start from the line which is on the point which is on the line, for this case in y-intercept, whatever point in the y-axis, then finding the next point as I told you. Okay, this is all about this video. See you in next videos. Bye for now.